Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles, and today's video is going to go over 3 red flags that you should look out for when you are vendor shopping. Now, I do have additional red flags that I intended on putting in this video, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. So after watching this video, if you do want to hear the other red flags that I have, leave a comment down below. Let me know that you want to hear them, and I will go ahead and do like a part 2 to this video. Also, if you are new to this channel, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Also, hit your post notification bell. That way, when I upload a video, you will be notified. And also, be sure to check out my community tab. I do post a lot of different videos that I have created on YouTube on my community tab. Different hair business videos, different business and credit building tips. Also, different tutorials, different unboxings, and things like that. So if you are interested in this video going over 3 red flags, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and let's get right into it. As a brief disclosure, I am going to be looking like this way because I have my notes. I actually have my phone propped up on my laptop. I didn't feel like moving, setting up a chair in my bathroom or anything like that for better lighting. So bear with me, but I did decide to record in my living room, so I don't have the best lighting, but I have my phone propped up on my laptop, so hopefully the laptop is going to give enough light for this video. So the first red flag that I want to go over is lack in consistent communication. So there are a lot of people that reach out to me and they're like, Brittney, what should I look out for when I'm working with different vendors? One thing that I would strongly recommend you look out for is their consistency in communication. Meaning that if you reach out to a vendor and you're like, hey, you just ask general questions. A question may be like, what textures do you offer? You also may ask, what lengths do you provide? What grade hair are you offering? Is it virgin or raw? Things like that. And if they're answering back and very enthused that day, and you know, the next day you reach back out and you forgot a question, so you're asking another question and you notice that they don't reply, but you're not too worried because you're like, okay, well, you know, let me give them a day or two to reply back. And you ask another question, let's say 3 days later, and you don't get a reply. Okay, at this point, it's like, you know, it may have your mind wondering, where is the vendor at? Is this a real legit vendor? You know, are they going to reply? When are they going to reply? And things like that. It's very important to know that your vendor is going to be consistent when you are considering going into partnership with them with your business. I don't think a lot of people look at it as a partnership. For example, when people come to me and they're like, hey, let's do a business consultation. I really want your insight on what I should do with this. And I'm asking different questions about the vendors that they're working with, asking different questions about the status of their business and things like that. I've heard very frequently people say, well, I really don't know what to look out for with my vendor. And I'm a little concerned because I got this vendor because I liked the pictures, and I also liked the videos that they sent me in my DM. But I'm not able to have consistent communication with this vendor. So I like the pictures. Again, I like the videos, but I don't really like how they do business. So at that point, you have to look deeper, or you don't have to, but I strongly recommend you look deeper than just someone that has good pictures and good videos and even good quality hair. It's deeper than that. It's more than just a good supplier. It's more so a good partnership. So you want to make sure that all the factors are there because you're going into partnership with this vendor, meaning that you're going to need to have consistent communication. If you have a question that you don't know and one of your customers, you know, they're waiting for you to reply back with an answer to that question, and you honestly don't know, and the only one that would know is that vendor, that company, and you're taking about 3 to 4 days to get back to them, a lot of times you run the risk of losing that sale. So it's impacting your business. So when I mention that a lot of people don't look at vendors as a partnership, that's what I mean. A lot of people look at it as, well, at least I have a good supplier with good quality hair. But it's more than just having someone that can give you good quality hair when they feel like it. It's about having someone that has good quality and also great customer service. That definitely matters. And a lot of times we don't notice how much that impacts and weighs on our business until we're in a position where we're like, okay, great. Like, I really need to make this sale. There's someone that really wants to purchase from me, but I don't know this question. I don't know if the wefts are double wefted or not. It could be something like, I don't know if what kind of processing they use. They say that they offer virgin hair, but are they adding any chemicals, or are they not using chemicals? I didn't really get that clarified in our initial conversation. So you want to make sure that, number one, your vendor has consistent communication, and the moment that you notice that they don't, that would be a red flag. Now, I'm not saying that if you reply or respond, or not even respond, initiate a conversation with the vendor and they're taking a few hours to reply back, even though you've been going back and forth pretty quickly, and it may take a few hours to get alarmed, or that's a red flag. I'm not saying that at all, because that happens sometimes, right? That happens in personal life and also in business. You can be texting someone or replying via email, and then something else may come up and you may not be able to get back to that text or that email as promptly or as quickly as you were before. That's perfectly normal, but I'm referring to when you're unable to keep that consistent communication and it goes like days and weeks before you hear back from that vendor. That happens way too often, and it's just not a good way to run your business, having to wonder and worry, is my vendor going to be available when I get an order? Especially if you are doing like a pre-order method, especially if you're drop shipping with that vendor, and especially if you're buying in bulk as well, because sometimes you'll wait until you get to a certain point in your inventory. Like you'll wait until you have let's just say you wait until you get low in certain areas with your inventory, and you may need to place an order like right now, and you're like, I don't know if they're going to be you're crossing your fingers hoping that they are available to take your order. It's just not a good feeling, and it's not a good place to be in when you are wanting to run a successful hair business. The next red flag that I have is basing professionalism on whether you buy or not. So turning rude if you don't buy, like becoming just like a rude person if you don't buy anything. So this happens too, where you're communicating with a vendor and they're very nice and polite. They're answering all of your questions, and you notice that you've been going back and forth for a few days, and like on the fourth day, they start to get really, you notice the change in the tone in the conversation. Even though it's via text or DM or whatever else, you can kind of notice that the tone is different in your communication. And they start asking, hey, so when are you going to buy? What do you want to purchase? I'll send you over an invoice, things like that. And even if it's like on a website and you're like, well, give me a moment to think about it. I just had a few more questions. Let me check back. You may even want to check with your business partner. And you notice that they're now not really responding as promptly, but you're not really getting too alarmed. And then you're also noticing that when they reply back, it's a different type of way that they're replying. Like it's more short, and they're like, well, are you going to buy or not type of tone. Now, I don't really have any specific phrases like off the top of my head right now. It's pretty late, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. So if the tone changes and you can tell that the vendor is becoming rude and short and kind of like, are you going to buy or not? You're wasting my time. That's a red flag. If the vendor is just willing to help as long as you buy like right then and there, I would definitely be concerned about that, because you want to make sure that you have a relationship with whoever you're working with where they know that you want to make sure that you feel secure before you can, before you actually go ahead with ordering. Now, of course, we know when you're working with a vendor, their ultimate goal is to partner with you, send you products, and have you as their customer, and you have them as, your supplier and things like that. But you want someone that's patient. You don't want someone that's so focused on getting your money that they don't really care about what concerns you have first. You want to make sure that they're going to be you want to make sure that they're concerned about what's going to make you completely satisfied, if that makes sense, not just about getting your money. So if they're just concerned about, making that sale and just concerned about wrapping up the conversation as soon as they can so you go ahead and purchase, and if you're not purchasing, they really don't want to talk, I would look at that as a red flag. Now, I do want to say this too, just being fair, because I'm a vendor as well. There is a such thing as serious inquiry. So when people are working, let's just say your vendor's working, they're working with multiple people. A lot of times companies and different vendors will, specify serious inquiries only. Not stating that they don't want you to ask questions, but they are wanting people that are seriously interested in buying. So there's one thing, if you're not really interested in buying and you have like 15 questions and you're just wanting to know just for your own personal research, but you're not really interested in becoming a customer or partnering, that's a completely different scenario. That's a completely different scenario because at that time, people may feel like their time is not being valued. But if you are seriously shopping for a vendor and you do have legitimate questions that are going to help you make your decision as to if you want to work and partner with that vendor or not, then definitely, you want to make sure that you're working with someone that is patient enough to be able to walk through those questions with you to make sure that you're comfortable enough to partner with them. And then the last red flag that I'm going to go over is inconsistent quality. Now, unfortunately, with this red flag, this is something that you're not going to be able to tell just up front. This is something that you're going to have to actually start working with this company, actually purchase, from this company or have them send you samples up front. There aren't too many vendors that are going to send you free samples unless you're already an established client, with them. And then when they get new textures, they may send you out, textures to try, or if they get new products, they may send out new products at no cost. But a lot of times vendors do want to know that you are a active partner, an active, that you're purchasing with them before they send out anything for free. So not everyone, just a lot of vendors. Other than that, vendors are still going to a lot of times charge you even for samples. So if you have ordered from a vendor and you're doing your test and the hair is just amazing, you fell in love and you're like, wow, this is amazing. I want to work with them. Communication has been great. Quality is great with the hair. I love everything about this vendor. I'm going to definitely partner with them, and this is my new vendor. And then you order your second batch of hair, and you notice that the hair does not look the same. You're like, okay, these bundles don't look like how the other bundles look. And you have some bundles left over from the other, from your initial order because you haven't sold out completely. You ordered when you got a little low, but not completely out. And you're comparing the bundles, and you're like, okay, I know the bundles, don't look identical all the time, but these don't look the same at all. Like, they don't even feel the same. They don't smell the same. Like, what's going on? And then you reach out to your vendor and they're like, no, the bundles are the same. It's the same exact quality. I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, okay, maybe it's me. So you place another order and you get another order and the bundles look like the first, batch that you order. And so you're like, okay, a little bit more relieved. You're like, okay, maybe it was just a bad batch that they sent out. That does happen. And you continue to place orders, but it's like a hit or miss. So sometimes you get a great batch and sometimes you don't. And it's like, okay, at one point, a lot of people are going to sit back and be like, okay, I don't have money to keep playing like this. Like, I need to know when you send out the hair that it's all going to be this great quality because my customers are banking on me sending out good quality. A lot of times vendors stay in the background. You know what I mean? So a lot of people aren't promoting their vendors unless they're selling their vendors. So the vendors stay in the background and it's the company that is the face of the product. So if the hair isn't on point, your customers aren't going to say, well, I don't like your vendor. They're going to say, well, I don't like that company. You know what I mean? Or I don't like your vendor's quality. No, I don't like your quality. You know what I mean? So it's going to go back on your business. So eventually you're going to start, or a lot of people are going, would start thinking about, this is like a red flag. I need to find a different vendor. And all of these reasons, I want to put this out here, is one of the reasons that I say it's great to have a backup vendor. It's just great just in case. You never know what will happen. You never know, as much as we would like to think that nothing bad will ever happen, you always want to be prepared. You always want to have backup plans. I've made tons of videos about why that's important. So I still stick by that. And again, the red flags I'm going over in this video, they support, my theory of having just more than one vendor. You don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket. That's just not wise to do when you are running a business. But like I said, that's going to be on your business and it's going to be more money out of your pocket. So you want a vendor that has consistent quality. Understanding that not all bundles are going to be the same. Not all bundles of hair are going to look exactly the same. Some may be a little lighter than some. We get that, but at the end of the day, the quality should be consistent. Definitely should be consistent. If it's not, then that's a red flag. That's a time that you want to actually, reconsider who you're working with. And if you reach out to them and they're like, no, they're pushing it back on you and saying that, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I know my quality is there. No, they look the same to me, even though they don't really to you or anyone else. you definitely want to reconsider doing business, because like I said, that would be a red flag. So those are 3 red flags that I wanted to outline and talk about today in this video. If you do want more red flags in relation to working with vendors, be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know. Also, make sure that you are subscribed if you're not already. I mentioned that in the beginning of this video. I do want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.